Hey, welcome to another Valley Forged. A little different this time, reviewing a 15-watt laser. And I always tell people, I'm like, well, if you're gonna buy a laser, look for the one that the person doing the review actually uses for, long term, not just do a review and then you don't see it again. If so, maybe you should look into it a little bit more. Why aren't they using it themselves? But when it comes to 15-watt lasers or 8-watt lasers or beginner lasers, well, that's not really going to hold true because no business owner or professional that can have any laser is probably going to go with an 8 or a 15-watt. But they probably started with one or even a 5-watt like I did. So I did decide to do the Algolaser review just for that because, hey, what if you're brand new? Or what I came up with, maybe you just want to do leather wallets or something, and this would be just plenty and awesome for that, and you wouldn't have to spend a lot of money. Now, if you want to do 6mm all the time, don't do it. Don't even think about it. I wouldn't even get the 20-watt. But what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go through their ad and I'm going to show you the different versions of it and say, what's good, what's bad, prices, things like that. I'm going to go at this as somebody who's like looking to buy their first laser or just needs it for a specific thing. They don't need a lot of power. They don't need all the latest ever gadgets and all-in-one and everything. So we'll go through that. I'm going to do some tests, show you my tests, and tell you what I like, what I don't like. And I am going to kind of go over who is this for. I did a little bit of that already, but just more in detail. I will say up front, this thing worked right out of the box. I set it up. It is not idiot proof. I heard some other channel, there's very few reviews on this, and I heard another channel say it was idiot proof. It is pretty close, but it's not idiot proof. Okay, I don't consider myself to be the brightest person in the world, but I'm looking at this. So this is the screen. This is the gantry where it's supposed to be. And it shows the motor on the left-hand side, but it's on the right-hand side. I did manage to put it together wrong. Had to unbolt it and put it back together. It wasn't not hard on this one, but I just wanted to, there are some idiots, and I do this. I'm just terrible at building lasers, believe it or not. Okay, so let's take a look at this thing. When you come into their website, they're going to have some spinny thing. Maybe you get 8% off or something. I have no idea, but it'll probably help. But I'm not even going to think about that. We're just going to look at things as they are. Oh, and the laser, it's right behind me. It's there, but I'm going to show you pictures and video anyway. We are looking at the 15-watt machine, which is the one I have. And really, I think it's probably the best deal of all of them. I had initially asked for the 20-watt because I usually don't review things that are cheaper than 20 watts or lower than 20 watts. But when you start getting up into the $460, you got to start comparing, maybe the atom stack, maybe the longer. You're looking at different lasers and you're seeing which is the best price, which is the best laser at those prices. Where it comes to the 15-watt, I think it would be hard-pressed to find something better. Now, what you will need with this, though, it doesn't come with an air assist at this price. So with the basic kit, it does, but then you got to start thinking, well, is it better for me just to get that stuff separately? A honeycomb bed is about $50. Air assist, $35 maybe-ish, so less than $100 you can get both of those. You are going to need an enclosure no matter what. None of these have an enclosure. So just some things you need to think about. But, for like $450, you could have everything with the enclosure. Now, that wouldn't come with the roller, the rotary roller and the riser kit. Don't get that. I mean, my opinion, don't start out with that. Make sure you like the laser, you're enjoying it. You can always get this stuff later. It's just my opinion. Probably company wouldn't want me to say that, but I want you to love this hobby like I do. I mean, and I started out with a laser way worse than this one. This one has some features that mine only dreamed of having. First of all, being easy to set up with light burn. Well, even better than that, this touch screen is awesome. And so you can just right away after you build it, you could just go into this screen. You can mess around, find all kinds of items to print and test and do a bunch of things. Not something most lasers have. So that does give you the ability to just get started, not even need to hook it up to your computer, not to need to do anything, and just start making. And then you can go from there. So that's one thing. Another thing, the fan turns off when you're not using the laser, so it's not constantly making a noise. Some of these, like longer Ray 5, the older ones, that fan is just going to be going constantly all of the time. You may not care, but a lot of you may try and use this in your house. Again, just make sure you have an extremely good enclosure and exhaust. I go over this. I just did a fume video a couple videos ago. Safety is important here, so think about that. You don't want to be breathing whatever this is in your house or in your office or wherever. Now, some of the newer models have where the air assist turns on and off through, say, light burn or something, and that might be important. You can just check the difference in prices and what you're willing to do. When you hook up the air assist to this, you're going to need to turn it on and off yourself. And maybe for engraves, you don't want air assist, and for cutting, you do. You know, and so now you've got to get up and switch it on when it starts cutting or whatever. So it's something normal for most lasers, especially in this price range. But I wanted you to know what the differences are, why you would spend more money or not. If you have $1,200, you're buying like the K2, IKEA K2 like I have. It's 55 watts. It's all enclosed. You don't have to get all of this stuff. But that's, you know, a good chunk of money, especially if you're just getting into lasers. This allows you to get in. It'll always be there for you. If you upgrade to something else, now you have a backup. You get to learn, and you're not having to break the bank. I mean, it's a good chunk of change. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even $300 plus, it's going to be $450 when you really think about it, because you're going to want to air assist. You need an enclosure. You're going to want a honeycomb bed. It's just kind of how it is. But it is simple. So we're going to go through this and see what the highlights are. They say that the others are smaller. Now, 400 by 400 is a pretty standard size. That's the normal size lasers. You know, say the upgrades like the one I have is going to be 12 by 19. You're going to have a slightly bigger area to work with. But 400 by 400 is great. You can basically stick 12 by 12 pieces of wood, which are pretty easy to get. Just plop them down and get started. I think I show that in one of these videos. With the engraving, that's a 12 by 12. Fits in very easily, doesn't it? 15,000 millimeters per minute, not necessarily super fast. And it doesn't matter because you're working with, well, if you get this one, 15 watts of power. At something like a 15,000 millimeters per minute, the engraving is going to be super light anyways. I think I went as down at like 5,000 millimeters per minute, when in the one that you'll see that turned out really good, that's about 5,000 millimeters per minute. And I was making a mistake with the engraving. I'm not the best of engraving. And I was engraving with the wood grain going side to side, and I just wasn't happy with how it was looking. Then I thought, oh yeah, I should just reorient this, and it looked like 1,000% better. So when it comes to engraving, I'm not necessarily the best guy in the world. And that's primarily what this laser is going to be great for. You're not going to be using it to cut out 6 millimeter all the time. 3 millimeter, perfect. And it cuts out 3 millimeter in one pass, does it really nicely. And that's what you're going to be looking to do. And they're telling you right here, 20 watt power, you're going to do 12 millimeter wood in one pass. That may be true on some lightest of the lightest wood that you've ever seen. I don't do this on my 55 watt. I can, but it's still really not made for that. A 20 watt can do 6 millimeter in 2 passes plywood comfortably without starting any fires. And the 15 watt, not as comfortably in 2 passes, but 3 millimeters where you're at. When it comes to rotaries, this is not something I really do a lot of. You would probably have to watch somebody else's review to kind of really get to know that. The Algolaser accessories are going to be pretty much the same. So you could probably go to some other Algolaser videos and check out the one that you want. Engraving is great. It's a 15-watt laser. It's going to engrave better than a 40-watt or a 55-watt. So if engraving is your thing, it's actually a pretty good power laser to get. And again, like I said, for just starting out. But the engraving is going to take some time. I mean, some of these engraves I just showed you were like, 30 minutes. It's not going to be a speed demon, but it will definitely get the job done in a far better way than the laser did when I started out, and I paid way more money for it. It's nice how lasers have gotten better and less expensive, even though inflation has gone up quite a bit. They go over, you might want to check this out. There's a link below, of course. You can come in here and look at what you can do with the screen. There's an awful lot of things, and that's a pretty cool feature. I know it has tests and everything already built in. As far as the focus goes, yeah, it works great. No problems with it, but I think I would actually rather just have a focus, figure out what the distance is with this one, and just get a piece of wood that's about that size and just be able to drop it on there for focus every time instead of having to use this, my opinion. Another thing I didn't like was how close this is to the material. If you go look at the laser, I will bring up it running. It's down there pretty close to the material when this thing is on. Now, if you're having an enclosure, you could actually probably take this off, which is going to give you more distance between the laser, the bottom of the laser, and your material, just in case. Like sometimes you're doing leather and the leather's a little bit warped, and then when you cut it, it kind of tilts up a little bit. And if that laser head comes over and hits it, you're going to ruin your whole project. And this happens with wood too. A piece will fall in only halfway and stick up, and it's just going to drag the wood all over the honeycomb bed. It's not really ideal. You're going to be wasting a lot of material. This used to happen to me all the time when I first started in lasers, because the lasers did have it pretty close. This isn't the worst. I have definitely seen much worse than this. In fact, I just reviewed one. But, it's just something to think about. And then they can talk about the safety. That's a pretty nice case there. I mean, the case probably cost as much as the laser. I'll bring up my leather that I was able to engrave 700 millimeters per minute with like 70% power. Very clean, very nice, looks super good. If I was just doing leather wallets or smaller leather things and I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on a laser, I would just get this. It's really great. And, if you're new to my channel, I do a lot of lasers, leather and lasers, and it's brilliant. And it's a high dollar item. I mean, you could pay off this laser in no time and then spend more on the leather, so there is that. And so what is it that I like about this laser? It's beginner friendly, and that's kind of why I decided to review it. Like I said, I don't usually review 15-watt lasers, but I wanted something that I could recommend that was, in the lower price range. And so this seemed to fit the bill pretty well with all of the features that somebody getting into it may enjoy, like the files and things right out of the box and the nice screen and all that, which a lot of the less expensive lasers don't have. Like I said, it worked perfectly right out of the box. I didn't have to do any adjusting, nothing like that, which is super nice. It's light, it's easy to manage and move around, and it's not going to break your back unless you have a really, really weak back. But it's pretty sturdy. It's just made to be easy, light, portable, good to go. Okay, the things that I don't like is the air assist isn't automatic through like light burn. You can't turn it on and off. Again, not a common feature at lasers at this price range, but it's just something that I always like. But the fact that the fan turns off when you're not using it is absolutely brilliant. and great for a $300 laser. And the other thing is, I mentioned already the 20 watt price, and then looking at the competition to see, is there something maybe better at that 20 watt, like $500-$600 price range? That is going to be a better buy. But as far as the 15 watts, which is the one I would kind of recommend out of their lineup, I think that the price is not going to be beat. And hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on that, because I want everybody to make the best decision possible. So check it out. I got a link below, and then you could join our community as well, where we can talk about these things in depth. In fact, you could bring this very laser up, and we can have some discussions on it from more people than just me. Who is this for? I think I've kind of gone over that through the video. Somebody who is beginning, first laser, great. Somebody who just wants to cut leather and make leather wallets or simple things. But if you just want to make simple, tiny things, not like leather, there are lots of these little tiny lasers that might be good for you. They're around the same price. I think I just reviewed one, but they are very limiting. Like, you can't just make leather wallets because of the way that they're galvo lasers. They're shooting the beam from one spot around. So what you're going to end up with on your leather is edges that are, diagonal. And then once you try and put those together, making a wallet, it's not going to work. So a leather like this is going to cut your everything square. So it's going to be perfect for that. So it's a much, much better for that type of thing. So really, you gotta think about size, enclosure, honeycomb bed, air assist, all these things, and put it together and decide what is best for you. So like, subscribe, and I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Love y'all.